Welcome back. We continue our conversation about becoming a foster parent. May is Foster Care Month, and here to tell us all about it and what you need to know to give a child a safe place to stay. Sally Bacchetta. She is an adoptive mother who works closely with adoptive parents and foster parents. And when we last left, we were discussing the circumstances by which a child finds him or herself in foster care. And you'd mentioned they could be a parent has an addiction. In general, though, it's not safe for that child to go home, so they're placed in the foster care system. What are some of the requirements that prospective foster care parent needs to fulfill?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. The requirements are very simple. You need to be at least 21 years of age and be willing to open your home to a child in need. That's it. Foster parents can be married, single. There's not an age limit other than the minimum age of 21. They come from all walks of life. There are not financial requirements. You just need to be able to provide a loving home for a child in need. That's it.
So you've got that requirement. I'm willing to do this. Is there any sort of training for parents? Because let's say this parent has no other children. This is their first time, bringing a child into the home. What kind of training exists for them? Is there any? There
definitely is. Monroe County has wonderful training. From the beginning, if someone is interested in being a foster parent, they contact Monroe County Foster Care Department.
Okay.
And right away, you will get set up with a home finder, it's called. That's a caseworker who interviews you, talks with you, lets you know what to expect, what the experience is like. They'll come out and see your home, do a home visit, see you in your environment, check everything out.
Okay.
And there is ongoing training. Once the child is brought in, you have caseworker and social worker support for the duration.
So you have to express interest in the beginning, but then they do check you out closely and carefully.
Sure.
They want to make sure, obviously, your home is safe for this child. What sorts of, I say this, but I don't know, is there monetary compensation?
Yes.
Or, because obviously if you bring a child into your home and you place them in school or you have to buy them things, how does that work?
There is a monthly rate, and I'm not sure the rate changes, but for daily board for the child, for food. There's also a clothing allowance that's paid out twice a year in Monroe County.
Okay.
And all children in foster care are signed up for Medicaid. So the foster parents are not incurring costs for the child's health care. The county really does a great job. There's such a need for foster parents, so they make it as easy as possible to find homes for these children.
I can only imagine that some of these cases become where the parent and the child really do fall in love with each other and they want to stay together as a family. How does the county then work around that, say if a parent hasn't relinquished his or her parental rights?
It is tricky because the biological parents have the ultimate right to raise the child. There are cases where the foster parents and the foster child talk with the biological parents and encourage them to terminate their parental rights so the child can be freed for adoption. Once the child reaches the age of 18, they are freed and could be adopted even at the age of 18. Other than that, that's one of the challenging things about foster care is oftentimes the children go back and forth, at least to some degree, between the foster home and their natural home.
You talked about some of these kids really needing a lot of help, mental health, and let's just face it, their world is so upside down.
Right.
They may have separation issues or trust issues. There's a lot of help, though, for those kids while they're in the system, right? I mean, parents aren't just left to wade through that minefield, like maybe you would call it, on their own.
No, not at all. In fact, I often think there's more care for foster parents than parents who raise their kids biologically who doesn't need some help with that,
some help or training.
Yes.
Here's what you do.
Right, right. No, the county provides a lot through their home finder caseworker network. Absolutely.
1,100 kids, and some of them they're getting older, aren't they?
They are. And of that 1,100, actually, only 800 are in foster homes. The other 300 are in county-run residential facilities. Some of those are there because they have special needs that exceed the capacity of a family. But some of them are there because there just are not enough foster parents available yet. That's why I wanted to come on and encourage people.
And the website to go to is at the bottom of your screen, www.monroecounty.gov. If you're interested, you go on there, and I went on this morning, and under the search feature, you just type in foster care or foster parents, and it'll come up with a link to that site with all of the details. I mean, it goes pretty, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it goes through a lot of it, but you've got to make that first attempt, that first call, if you will.
That's right.
Yeah, to try and get involved. Thank you so much, Sally. And I know that you, adoptive care, adoption, foster care, it means a lot to you. You've written a book about your experience as an adoptive mother, right?
That's right. It's called What I Want My Adopted Child to Know, and it's available on Amazon, on barnesandnoble.com, borders.com, everywhere you can find it, and also on my website, theadoptiveparent.com.
Thank you so much, Sally.
Thank you, Norma.
All right. We'll be right back after this. We're going to tell you about something called the 6x6 by 2010 art exhibit going on in June, downtown Rochester. We'll be right back.